Public will see the budget that we will actually be examining at the public hearing. So I'd like to open this up. We did make some changes. I made them got emails to all of you there in front of you about the changes that were made to the budget that's in front of you. So it's up to you to ask questions or request changes at this point so that we can proceed. Unfortunately, it won't be fixed until probably tomorrow. She did call THPC. They had repaired it and they said it needed something. So
Will you try this over and try this work?
yeah, be cleaned up. So any cleanup that I have to do on that before I make a PDF,
Yeah.
Please let me know. I'll
So
be doing that in the morning.
So we determine that there is enough in the TA fund to use
Yes.
the 100 in.
Yeah.
And that's here somewhere.
And computer. From the cash that I could look at, it appears that what we have cash in Tompkins accounts should fund the budget as it exists. Of course, that's not taking into account any other overages we have yet, or bookkeeping, which we know are already over. We've exceeded the contingency we put in there, so based on the budget this year, that we're looking at today, we may have to make some adjustments.
So you must have got more information on the retirement.
Yeah, we got good news.
We got what John got finally signed on. We never did get the passwords via the mail. John was able to call them again, got somebody there to finally give him a password that we could get online, printed out what our obligations are. It turns out that what you see in the budget for 2025 is paid in advance, a single payment. So our P&L actually shows we're not behind. That payment is made February 2nd. So we're good for this year. The next payment will be due in February 2nd of next year. And so it looks like we were not, we thought we were way behind on payments. We are not. Therefore, I decreased, we put extra money in each of those categories, the retirement categories. I've reduced those. I'm not sure the balance is correct because the way they gave us the numbers, it doesn't match up the way we have it in our budget line. And so I did send it to Margaret, who was not in today or tomorrow. It'll be a slight adjustment, one, because the retirement is in three different funds. But it did lower the amount that we actually had to budget for next year.
And is it, so the state tells you, like, they have some calculation that they say, here's your obligation for next year? So it's not something we have to.
We could pay in advance in December and save a couple $100, which isn't worth it. We don't have the money anyway.
Yeah.
So I do think there is an obligation that we're behind on. It might be $177 for a few months because Margaret is behind, but it's not significant.
Okay.
So essentially, in the budget, in rough numbers, it's about $38,000 less than we thought.
Yeah, so that came out too.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, which was good, which helped. Yeah, originally we had bumped up all the retirement. We had almost 100,000 in the three retirements, when in fact our obligation is about 62.
Okay. And then we break it out by fund based on however we're charging
Yeah,
salaries
I'm
or
gonna need some help from Margaret on that.
It's based on tiers
And there's a certain percentage increase in each of the tiers. So they gave us those numbers, show from one year to the next. And so they've shown us what our obligation is for next year within reason.
it's about, I think that's the firm number.
Yeah.
It's about 16 to 17% increase year over year.
Yeah, well, one tier is 19.5%. Yeah, there were like 3 different or 4 different tiers that they have it broken down to. And like I say, didn't line up, and it doesn't give you the employees. Margaret should be able to tell us which funds each of those go into.
Okay. When they do they send a bill then in February? Okay, so on the bill,
I think
will
you
it
have
kind
to
of
go after.
Well, go get it.
Yeah.
But will it break it down there as to like each person and how, like each tier, how much you're putting in by tier?
I'll call them again tomorrow.
I'm just curious, not that
it's got to be somewhere in there, but
yeah,
we were scrambling to get it today.
Yeah. The other thing I got thinking of, did we increase health insurance? We got quotes from Tompkins, right, for health insurance?
Just got it today.
Oh, and did you?
I just got it this afternoon. I have not made any adjustments. We did bump it up a little in there. I can double check, but those are kind of adjustments I think after the public hearing. In between now and then, I think we're going to find other small areas that we need to adjust after the public meeting. But I don't think there's going to be anything dramatic that would really dramatically change the budget from where it is today. But yeah, I just got the numbers today.
you, on here, did you plug this in here? The lighting revenue,
No, I did not.
so then we have a problem in the formula, because it should pick it up out of there as a
Mhm.
zero,
No, well,
right? Because we
We
need
put
to
that-
tax, we have to tax for that. It's not revenue, we're taxing for it,
well,
aren't we?
we changed it on the lighting district. We added it in both.
Yeah, I know, well, I know we were gonna, but I think here, that shouldn't pick up here, so we have to change the formula, because this has to be a tax,
So
right?
what are you telling me I need to do? Take that
We,
out?
we need to change the formula that it doesn't pick up this revenue line, and maybe that has to be zero, and the property tax, or the tax line will be 7,000. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure. I'm not.
Yep, okay, so here's the expense.
Yep.
Right? There is no revenue until we collect it in taxes, so that has to go out of there
Yeah,
and come
gotcha.
over
I
here.
wonder why it populated there.
I don't know, because mine doesn't do that, so I don't know if.
Because I'm working
maybe-
off the sheet you gave me.
Yeah.
I haven't changed
Maybe
any of the formula.
Yeah, I don't know, because the spreadsheet I have at home, but maybe I fixed it, I don't know,
So that just needs to move here.
Yeah, you gotta make this zero
Okay.
and put in this formula.
So that'll
We'll take
change
this
that.
less this, and it'll give you a 7,000 tax rate, and then it'll put like some pennies down here.
Okay.
You can keep this one if you want.
Well, I just need to make a note.
Jim, can I ask you a question? I'm just noticing here, and I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot because I really wanted to go to conferences, but with that being said, and I understand that you can't this year, under the tax collection, which is, 1330.4,
Hang on.
What's your
Expenses, Darlene?
it's the contractual.
Yep.
You've got $4,000. Now, I know we were gonna do,
see, I saw that too.
I mean, if I'm not going to conference, we certainly don't need $4,000.
Well, I took it out of your clerk's contractual.
Well,
I thought that's where you put it. I looked it up in your sheet.
should have been 2,000 for each one, or 1,000 for each one,
Yeah,
for
the
tax
bud,
and,
Okay, so
Just
tell me.
readjust the line items.
Okay, so you're saying that let me make notes here, okay? First of all, the lighting district.
And it'll be for both lighting districts. You'll do the same thing.
Okay. So give me the line items again.
all right.
1330.4.
1330.4, you've got the 26 budget is $4,000. And I really don't need that amount of money in there. I mean, tax collection for me would be, if I was gonna have to start using envelopes and the stamps and all that, it would go out of that.
Well, it was based a little bit on us not understanding the 831, whether that was actual. When you look back and you say 2024 actual was 3950. So that $4,000 has been in there
Oh,
for
I
a
see.
while. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh,
Since we didn't have a lot of confidence at 83188, that you see in the actual in 2025 was actually fully recognized.
right.
Now, if you're saying that it is, and that we don't need 4,000 in that line, I made no changes in that line based on, this has been in there since day one that we started this. So if you're saying that I don't need to have $4,000 there, lovely, I'll be happy to change it.
Well, I just wanna be honest, I don't need
Oh, I
that.
know that, but I'm just
So-
saying, why did we use, going back in our conversations, we used 2,500 in 2023, we used almost 4,000.
yeah,
You know,
Either
what,
that
some of it
was
is some of it's for my software, which is
Okay.
probably like $2,500.
Mhm.
And I think there was 1,000 for the conference.
So if you can drop that one by
I
1,000.
can drop it by 1,000.
And then you need to increase the clerk contractual by 1,000, because you took 2,000 out of that line, but it should have been 1,000
1,000,
for
yeah.
each
Okay.
line. So that's
All right, it was a
1410.
little trouble to tell from your handwritten
I apologize. That's what happens last minute. Don't ever ask me to do something last minute.
All right.
1410,
I have to read it.
Here we go. Okay.
1410.4.
And then records. I don't see records.
So that 831 is a good number then, right?
No, because she said she's got 2,500 of software.
Software.
Oh, all right.
Probably
Exactly the
Williamson.
reason that we didn't use the 831.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why we need to get
Okay.
everything reclassed for the year.
So the 831 says that's all I've used in that?
That's what yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah, no.
So the
See?
Williamson Law software might have been charged somewhere else. So
Yeah.
we have to look that up and reclass it.
Yeah.
Well, we may not for this budget. I don't have time.
No,
All
I'm
right.
saying, no, I'm saying
Ongoing.
Margaret will fix it so that next
Okay.
year when we look back at our historicals, everything's in the right
So
place.
I need a motion to change, because this is where we are with this budget at this point. I need a motion to change, drop 1,000 out of A 1330.4, the tax collection contractual, by $1,000.
So moved.
No second.
Okay, hold on, I don't understand where we are.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
A1, what is it? A1.
So A1330 in the
1334.
expenses, A1330.4
Mhm.
is tax collection contractual. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so what Darlene is saying is, when Jim took the conferences out, he should have taken 1,000 out of this line, but he didn't realize it was in two. So this is gonna come down by 1,000.
Okay,
And if you go down a few lines to 1410.4, that's clerk contractual,
mm-hmm,
that he took 2 out of there, and she only wants 1 out of there, so we're just moving it between those two accounts.
okay.
Okay, we need a vote on that to make the adjustment in those two
And
lines.
we've got Ed making, or
I made it.
Amanda made.
More to go. Yeah.
You just gotta get those signs, keep raising the
So
There you go.
do you want
We'll use it.
31, 20, you want 30, I was saying 31, 35.
Okay, we're gonna put 35.
Okay, that's good.
Let's put a motion to change A 1460.4 records management contractual. Change the number that's in there right now in the budget 4326 to what did we say?
35.
35. So I so make a motion for a second.
A second.
Roll call vote. Luna,
Yes.
Delaney,
Yes.
Mercedes,
Yes.
and Conley.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't read it, Jim. No.
Let's see, justice services, is that, 56 to 65, better get it raised.
They all took 3% COLA, they put it in there. And there were some additional expenses they gave us. That I got from justice.
They also got raised last year.
Yep.
I think they did.
Is that where he has his interpreters go in his, because he has people sometimes come in to sign and he has translators come in.
It would be,
That in personnel or that's in contractual?
it would be a different line,
Do
wouldn't
you think it's contractual?
it?
I don't know, because they said, there had to be something else. I don't think his salaries went up 10,000.
No.
There has to be something else.
Right off.
Yes, I know we did, but I can't just remember what they were.
Took it right from the papers and turned it in.
So we're gonna look at it as is then, right?
That's what I notified with justice. We don't have enough time. That's the way since the first market on the table.
The sign, person does sign the new, one.
I don't think he knows that people coming in that need interpreters at some time, and then he brings them in.
There was a bill I looked at today, I was on this one's bills, it was like $240, I don't know, for one night, or a month, or what.
Probably a night, wouldn't it?
I think it was a
Right.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cheap to bring in the interpreters, translators, or, yeah. I don't know, I feel like we've trimmed it about as much as we can.
Not a lot of fat in it.
Now, buildings contractual, that's gonna, we dropped that almost 20.
We moved something out of there, Ed.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it
time
was.
clock, right, or DocuWare?
DocuWare.
What do the, like, Don Lennon, he's the administrator for Melville Cemetery, what do they, is it like, I don't know if they're under.
Cemeteries.
It'd be a stipend, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
1,500.
What is it, Dan, Ed?
I think it's 1,500. Yeah, for
Mhm.
him, and then 15 for Dale.
And they get that at the end of each year also.
Yeah.
So cemetery personal services is still 681, huh? It hasn't used any of that.
It hasn't changed, and I haven't had time to go back and really look further, and, you're looking at the year-to-date,
Yeah,
yeah,
actual was that.
actuals.
I think the problem is we're not sure whether that is all they did or it just didn't get charged to the right account when they ran payroll. They didn't allocate it to the right fund. So again, that's something that I think it wasn't Dale gonna go back and look at time sheets?
Not on that one, I don't
Not,
think we,
oh, I
I
thought that
don't
was the
think
one
we
he was
asked,
going to look at.
I don't remember that did we ask him that?
Yeah,
I should follow up.
yeah,
I can
just,
follow up.
because if that's just, what did he say that was? It's not mowing, it's just for them to fix stuff.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
doing masonry
So
work in
let's-
there.
Okay, so let's look at,
So who was that gentleman that came in today from
It
Millville?
was Don Lunnan.
Okay, so he gave you a check for 18, it's a dividend check.
Right.
So there are 20 shares of Niagara Mohawk that the cemetery owns. And apparently for the last couple of years, we've been trying to wrap that up just because I don't think anybody's paid any attention to it. It's about $1,300.
mhm,
So I took it away from Dale, and it's very simple. He's got to get a couple signatures from people.
mhm.
Then the stock can be sold, and I think that revenue will come to us.
Yes, because we own the cemetery.
Yeah, so it's $1,300.
It was something that the Millville Cemetery Committee started.
Yeah, they started, I think, probably to self-fund it, thinking
Right.
to get enough money.
So if we dropped that, if we dropped the,
It's a,
although, I'm sorry, darling,
it's
go,
a quarterly check they get. Yeah.
if we changed the cemetery personnel line,
Which line is that now?
I can't see that number.
8810.1, 8810.1.
It's on the third page, the top of the third page, from the A fund.
Yep, okay.
Keep going, John.
I know that he originally,
One more, I think. One more. Okay, 8810, the second line down. Okay, so if we took that, if we said that was 5,000, right? And they make $32 an hour, roughly, I think, that might be a little high.
a little bit.
It's 156 hours of cemetery repair.
This seems
Don't-
like a lot.
Bruce,
That's
well,
what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
we've reduced it once. I'm willing to reduce it again.
But you have to take that 5 and put it somewhere else though, because if those are hours that are part of their 2,080 hours, right?
Mhm.
That money has to be absorbed in another fund somewhere,
Well,
in another line. Like maybe that's gonna be snow plowing because he's got so much, or maintenance of roads, or, and I'm not saying you have to do it, I'm just saying that
I mean,
That-
any of these
that's-
changes can be done. We're just running out of time. I'm not trying to, so
I know, I'm just,
we've,
but
you're talking about the 88-101. We've changed that twice.
88,
he was gonna go back and look, and he was
10.1.
gonna
I
bring
know.
us time cards, he was gonna look back through the time cards.
That may be so,
So-
but I'm just telling you where we are.
And I'm just telling you that the only reason I'm bringing it up now is because we have asked and we didn't, so you can leave it if you want, I'm just pointing out.
And it's been
It's
8,000.
156 hours
Yeah,
at
We-
$5,000, so that's over 300 hours
Do you
of
wanna change-
repairing stones.
Okay. I can
think
talk to him
that's-
about
does that
adding it
seem-
someplace else, but do you want to change that and then I'll pursue the other? It's up to the board here now. So if we want to
What-
make a motion to drop that by 10 and then I got to
Do we
find.
know that the .1s add up to their
Yes.
2,080 hours?
Well, I went back and checked them based on a four-man crew, because I was looking at three.
Yep.
It looked like there was a lot more overtime than there should be. In order to make that number, based on a four-man crew, it comes out pretty close. So if those numbers are correct, you're right, I'll need to go ahead and find someplace else for that time.
It comes out close to their 40 hours or 40 hours plus the 800 hours of overtime that
No,
he
it
wants.
comes out pretty close to their 40 hours at their 29, whatever it
Yep,
is
30
per
hours,
hour,
yep,
plus the 3% raise.
yep.
Okay, and then it leaves about 700 hours, 700 and something of overtime.
Okay.
So again, if you want me to change that particular number to, um, to 8,000, then move
I'm just-
2,000 to labor.
I'm just thinking if we're gonna be short in another fund next year,
Yeah.
we're gonna wish we had moved, because you can't move it
Yeah.
later. We can't, once we put it in here, it's
Yeah.
gotta stay there, and if they
I'm
don't
open.
use it, I'd like to move it then.
That's fine. Make a motion and they get the board to approve it, and
Okay.
that's what I'll do.
So Darlene, a motion to move, to change cemetery personnel services, which is A 8810.1 to 5,000.
Where are you gonna move the others to?
I've got to work with Dale and find out where he'd like the labor, probably in snow
Or brush and weed.
or
I don't
brush and
know.
weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll second.
Roll call vote, Clemena,
Yes.
Delaney,
Yes.
Masidi,
Yes.
and how am I?
Yes.
I got.
Which one are we running even? So, yeah, I would think either road or
Snow plowing.
we need to add 5 somewhere. All right.
Did we ever figure out, refuse and garbage, why that was so low, the 397?
That's another one that I don't think has been recorded right. And quite frankly, I have not had time to look.
Would that be, maybe they put it in the buildings?
Could be.
That's been running, it was, what is it,
Couple thousand.
19, and then, right, so I think the 25, I think that's probably
All right.
the right amount. I think
that's why we've left it like that.
yeah.
So the hospital and medical insurance is budgeted 51K, and the same amount for 26?
I just got I could probably make an adjustment to it, but I just got the new rates late this afternoon.
No, you can redo that. I mean, after the public hearings.
I would
can
think
change
so,
that.
because it's going to take a while to take a hard look at that and see the impact for us.
That could be $4,000.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, the chips, we're gonna be getting 260.
Yeah. We probably get more than that, but you don't really know.
And last year was 240. Did we,
Actually, this year it's gonna be 279 or something.
It's going to be higher, so, but you don't really know until you make the application and you find out.
we didn't take any off anywhere else and because we're getting more, like 20 grand more estimated. And, roads maintenance or anything.
What we did is just to equal the CHIPS payment, and put the 260 and then added that amount into the roads.
Did you mean to add 34,000 into the fire?
Had to,
Okay.
because from last year, it puts it back where it needs to be. Because last year they used fund balance to lower the tax rate.
You're using fund balance again this year. Is that what you're doing?
No.
And that's what I'm asking. Did you mean to use fund balance?
No, it just
For
should be,
fire?
it should be just that this has increased now to this.
It wasn't like this
Yeah,
yesterday,
it
2
wasn't
days
like this.
ago.
Yeah, why the heck did that change?
If there's food around superficially, we really need something more to look at, right?
Do a blended rate report. I have to.
Yeah.
So the extra, I mean, these types of towns getting, $3.10 they're still getting charged.
We know that.
Where's all that?
Oh, yeah.
Going into?
That's the money. It's just, we are just, they have just started to apply the new water rate or a lower water, not a rate that they're paying, but the cost of water.
Right.
I'm just not being divided up. The problem we got is who's getting what and what percentage. So, Mark has been working on this. She has some input. Maybe we'll have a better idea about the public meeting. The other thing is that I'm still after the change about 3 water districts now off the Heartland back to China.
It's still,
I asked the other day and they were working on it. I don't think it's been completed.
taking a hell of a risk, man. You need to get on that. Should have been on that right away.
The problem I got is the same thing you got. I can't tell him what to do. I can't I'm not his boss. I can ask him to do it, and I can ask him to do it, and I can ask him to do it. And that's all I can do.
So if they're taking the Royalton water now and splitting it, are they taking the water and doing the same with it?
Supposedly. Yeah, I think it's just something that Margaret's kind of working on, some of the percentages she's using, and we're trying to see if that makes more work to see if that's actual. If we change it, all of a sudden that's going to change.
Well, the water receipt, he's collecting out that, different part of town. What fund is that going to each district?
Well, that's the problem with the general fund, going into water. The problem is this, that it was never really, because we get two big bills.
Yeah.
From the two pits. And they feed multiple water districts. The water districts are different in size, each one.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're working on trying to come up with a percentage of those bills to go to each water district. Now they've taken a step at it. There's been this been working out. But this has just happened within the last week. I don't think that there's numbers yet or anything that we can apply with any degree of certainty. It's been a problem, Ed, since this whole thing started.
Sure.
With you know, um, and I think that there are a lot of issues that may very well involve an attorney with what are we going to do with some of these, with a blended rate? What are we going to do to balance out these districts? What are we going to do if they start building a lot of fund balance that they should profit that they shouldn't have? There's a lot of unknown questions in that yet.
So this has been going on for over a year now, year and a half.
Probably a year. I think the first one supposedly got opened up in October.
Yeah.
They didn't go on out once. They
No.
went on, another one went on, another one went on, another one
So
went on.
Kathy was supposed to be checking with
I did
the state
Mhm.
on whether we legally can blend the
Yeah.
rate. Did she get an
Yeah.
answer?
She did not get an answer, and I bugged her the other day
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
So there could be a lot of revenue sitting somewhere
Somewhere.
that's being people are being overcharged.
Well, I think that was what Kathy was supposed,
Yeah.
I don't wanna, say that she was, but I think, cause I spoke to Lou at the state auditor, and asked her about, if we collected more money in those districts, right, and they were getting the lower rate, and yet the vault had been charged to everybody,
Yeah.
how could we correct that? Did we have to move the vault cost back to the districts that were getting the benefit? Or could we blend the rate and then even out that income? Because technically, the west side of the town has been getting a more beneficial water rate, and so they're building up a reserve, right? So could we then blend that with everybody and kind of move everything around on the books? That's why I believe Kathy, she's supposed to be first asking about the blended rate, and then if we can, asking how can we legally, right, how do we legally account for the water that was.
You know, I was frustrated with that water thing. It's maybe not as you are, but I am certainly frustrated.
Oh yeah.
You know, been in the seat for what, maybe less than 4 weeks, trying to get answers on this stuff. You guys have been trying to get answers on for 2 years. Um, it it is it's a mess.
Yeah.
And it's been a mess, and it's going to continue to be a mess until we can come up with some conclusion. So we have asked the lawyer. I did hit her the other day with and say she said she hadn't heard back. I had asked her to pursue it again. So this is going to take some work.
Oh,
I never figured, quite frankly, Ed, that we were going to get this straightened out in time for this.
No, I didn't think so either.
You know, we're not going to drop it. It has to be resolved.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you know, if we can get this straightened out by, quite frankly, before the beginning of the year, I'll be shocked. And that's why the extra money is put in there, because I think we're going to be going into next year to really resolve this money issue.
For legal and engineering, so the engineering too, hopefully that MRB can come in.
Yeah, they may have to come in, yeah.
Well, I think there's some consulting fees that they talked about us actually first before we go and do a study with MRB. Is there's some rural water consultants that MRB would like to see us use. They gave us two different people to talk to. Not had time to call them in to have them a discussion with them that could talk to us not only about how to straighten out the mess that we have now, Ed,
Yeah.
how do we account for the upkeep and maintenance of these water lines going forward? Because that's not been addressed. Also about our O&M charge that we have on there. So I think we're gonna need to get somebody in here besides MRB before we go and start talking about how do we change the water system, how do we move all the way over to Heartland. Those are engineering discussions. MRB said they could try to come up with a blended rate, but they felt you needed at least a year or more
Yeah, data.
of data.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But do we have enough engineering costs then in there to cover a
I
consultant?
don't have any idea what the,
Although they did say there might be a grant that
That's
would help
correct.
us, but you can't count on those.
so,
Mm.
and until we get somebody in here, I don't have any idea what that might cost us. We know what an engineering study would cost from MRB. It's gonna be 20-some thousand.
Yeah.
But I don't think we undertake that again because we really don't know what we want to do. And I think that's where a rural consultant can come in here that does nothing but rural water districts and talks to us about and starts guiding us through where we are, what kind of money we need to be putting aside for maintenance. I mean, we've got one old line that goes into Shelby Center that's been there since early 70s. I don't think we've collected anywhere near enough money. Of course, that's the only one without a bond. All the rest of the districts have bonds, which is substantial cost to each of the districts. We just got hit with all those bond payments just the last month or so. So there's a lot of work to be done on it. And I think that hopefully, once we get past this budget thing and get that turned in on the November 20th, that we can start to dig into this and a number of other issues that we're facing. So
Getting a blended rate, and have it consolidated would solve the problem.
sure would.
Seems like it would, yeah.
But it's the frustration point that you see a lot of places going to is we have seen people on the east side of this county are all turning to Monroe Water and having them handle the whole system. The only problem with that is the costs are out of your hands. Every time the road comes to you, it says this year I'm gonna raise your rates for the handling all of this by 15% or whatever. You don't have any way to counter that.
Well,
We don't have a big daddy next to us to take it over anyway.
I think one of the keys too is to make sure that no changes are made to how we're recording things without the board knowing about it, because these changes are made and it's actually can be muddying the waters worse than they already are. And no more new valves should be opened or closed without,
Once we get these open to take care of the pressure issue, I don't plan on making any changes until we get a consultant and we make a decision about where we go from there. I think that even at CPL was very clear that to really support water going up the escarpment was gonna, they think their estimate is 1.2 or 1.4 million, they felt. So I don't have any appetite for trying to pursue that project. Once we establish, that we've got a system that's providing the pressures that we require across the system, and then it'll give us the stability, I think, that we can then start examining what we need to do from there. Because even looking at these percentages numbers, if we're going to change that in a week or two, that all goes out the, you can go backwards and look at it, but it doesn't do us any good going forward.
I'm good with where we are.
Well, it's up
At
to
this
you to
point,
say,
Ed, you got any
I've
other
chewed on it
questions?
enough. You guys can, you have to be comfortable with this decision.
You know that we can cut some of these contingency accounts.
I'm scared. I mean, again, it's up to the board. If you want, you brought that up the last time, Ed. I thought about it. I'm a little frightened to cut it. I did play a few times with taking them out. Um, we certainly know that in that contingency, we burned through that like nobody's business this last year. Uh, in moving around some of the highway stuff now into DB, a little concerned that I don't know whether we've funded that correctly. We split that up a little bit the way we did it. Now that we can see exactly what the salt is, we put an extra line in there. Um, if if other members of the board want to cut that 50,000 contingent out of the DB fund that I put in there, I'm open to the motion, and the board can make that decision.
The only thing I will say about that, Ed, is on any of them, I think this coming year, we will be getting much better. We'll be getting financial information every month. We'll know in advance if a line is gonna go over and we can stop the spending beforehand, as opposed to using the contingency to cover bad spending. Contingency, in my mind, should be used for something we didn't anticipate.
What I'd like to see,
And
exactly.
hold people more accountable to the lines themselves, and,
Well, the
unless something came out of the blue that we didn't expect. we
other
shouldn't be
issue we
doing it.
discussed is if we don't use that contingent, we need to find out, can we put that away towards, we talked about, how do we save for the future? We know we don't need another truck next year. We hopefully don't need one in 2 years. But 50K isn't gonna buy a truck. And if we don't start putting money away in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, we're gonna be faced again because we've got a couple old trucks yet that are about 20 years old. Um, Not quite, but the point is that in the next 4 or 5 years, you're gonna have to at least buy one more truck, I would think. Can you take that contingent if you don't use it?
Only if it comes out of the fund that you're.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's in DB.
Correct. Like, you can't use the 50,000 out of the A fund.
I understand that. That's why I say on the other 50, can we, because we had talked about being able to do that. I don't know that this year is the best year to do it, but the contingent could serve two purposes. Give us that cushion that we may need if we've underestimated the costs for the winter. Um, and if we don't use it, can we use all of it or some of it? If we don't use all of the contingent towards the future and put it away into a fund reserve fund.
Well, since we just spent $20,000 on salt machines and plow, there's 20,000 right here.
Well, that actually is coming out of the
Equipment reserve.
It's already coming out of the. There was enough budget money out of where it's gone, because we approved it last week. Is coming out of. They had that 267,000 in
the DA.
Yes, and even with the salt boxes and with the new plow and everything, there's still 45,000 left. Which I'm hoping that, and we'll talk to Dale about using that to top off the fuel tank this year.
And he said that usually lasts a year, so we wouldn't have to, hopefully wouldn't be doing that next year.
But that's money that's already.
That's a function of plowing.
Yeah.
And that money already is at least already in the 2025 budget. That's not something we're budgeting for next year.
Yeah.
What did you say, how many gallons, how many miles to the gallon?
Well,
Personally, I think they ought to just run that into the ground myself, but,
Load
yeah. Rather than trying to do it every 3 years.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
well, anything like that will have to come up later because we certainly have to get here.
No, that's a little philosophical.
Yes, it is. So again, we put the 20K back as per request by Gail, and in the last couple, I put it there, it's at 20. If the board wants to remove that, I would certainly put it back. It needs to be a motion to remove the 20K. And that's line DA 5130, include one. We had originally moved that to 0. Dale had asked that we put 20K in there. I put it there and put it before the board.
I just said, I mean, what are you gonna buy with $20,000? You can't buy much at all, really. I mean, it's not like you're going for future trucks or nothing. I mean,
No. Mm-hmm.
No, but if one of their trucks went down and you had to rent something, would you?
I'm sure that would come out of there.
If there's anything we own, we'd have to buy.
I mean, yeah, it's free, but I think either once you're spending, get out of there, not gonna be able to spend it anymore.
No. I'll entertain a motion to take it out. It's easy to remove it.
Would you consider moving it into a contingency fund where then it's board approval to be able to use it, or you just?
You still have to tack on it.
Yeah, I know, except the thing that bothers me is I don't,
We're going into the semi.
You know, are you
I don't think
comfortable
we
with
have
zero?
spending.
We had 0 originally, right?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why he wanted 20,000.
He said that there may be some things that came up. He asked if he could put 20K in
Do you
there.
have anything specific?
Anything
He's asking if,
specific. He's not here, I can't answer.
Yeah, I know, I just didn't know if he specifically thought of certain things that he
He
thought
asked if he
might.
put 20K back in there, and I didn't brought it before the board before, and now it's in here. If we want to take it out, I think that we'll have to live with it.
Well, if you want to, we can take it out after the public hearing, too.
I can get some more answers. We could do that.
Yeah, well,
Public hearing, I think we want to reduce things. It's just you go back to the public hearing, we had 100,000.
No, that's reducing, no, that's taking it 25.
I can't say it's clarified with that. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go along with that one.
Yeah, me too.
What fund was it, Jim?
DA 5130.21.
2-1.
I think that's a good way to handle it, Ed.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
fine.
Okay.
So you said we're gonna put the cemetery personal service
To 5.
five into plowing or?
Well, I'll ask him, I'm gonna have to talk to him, see where it would work better for him.
Hey,
Because that labor, we'll wanna put it someplace else, because his labor numbers were pretty good.
Yeah.
So, let's find another home for him.
all right.
I would think plowing, but not so much weeds. Maybe it's roads. Although we've cut enough out of the road stuff, I can't,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's spending as much time on roads as he did, because we cut back on that a little bit.
Now this pedestrian bridge, this is the last payment on it?
It should be the last payment if they finish it, and so
So next year we shouldn't have that 40,000.
we shouldn't have that 40, but there's revenue to offset that. We received the money in advance.
Right.
So the 40K in that pedestrian bridge did not have any impact on the
There's a
taxes.
wash.
Because it's a wash.
Yeah.
And in fact, we did check and did find we did actually receive the money in 2019.
So buildings contractual, I mean, what most of that consists of? I mean, like
You know, I
a
think there's,
generator and, you know, a lot of that stuff is, I'm sure we got insurance on it. It wouldn't cost a ton anything. I mean, I don't know if we could drop that a little more maybe.
I wish you'd asked me that the other day. I had my computer. I think I want to say that we went through and looked at the stuff that was in there. I believe it's the utilities,
Yeah, oh, I
and
understand.
I thought we looked at that and I thought the 90 was close to where
Pretty
we thought we
close.
were. I
Yeah.
think so, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think there was anything in there that was out of the norm other than the regular bills. I think the pest control was in there, the stuff like that.
Then the contingency in that, general townwide, what is that for now? Oh no, yeah, the 50,000.
we had it last time and we blew through it with the legal. Hopefully we don't have that again. You're talking of the
It's
town
just in
line.
case,
Yeah,
just in case we trimmed
I
something
think,
too
I
much.
think where we're gonna go past, I think you're counting, you're probably gonna be over on accounting this coming year. Given just my experience here in the last few weeks, I think there's so much to be sorted out yet in the way we're doing things that will exceed, under control hopefully, but that will exceed what we have for a monthly rate that we're paying.
so that would cover some if we needed it for legal.
If we ran over, well, hopefully we're not going over in legal.
I really hope that we can, at the beginning of the year, make some changes in there.
So it would be 50,000, plus we budgeted 50,000 for legal, right? You don't think we can cut that a little more?
Well,
Quit calling them.
you got 24 with a base rate.
Maybe we'll be lucky.
Yeah, but I
investigations
thought
this
we were
year.
gonna maybe do away with that, or
I would like to, and then we may, at this point, we just don't have a plan in place to do it, and I don't know, hopefully there's no other things waiting in the wings for us that we've got to fund. I do know, like I say, the 50 and the contingency we blew through, which
oh
is
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
out of our control.
yeah.
Um, but I'm nervous. I think that the accounting thing is gonna take us more than what Margaret's working hard on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I gotta tell you that I'm on the phone with her every day, still trying to straighten out things from the past and to figure out, how we're and why, we're getting charged for stuff and where it's going. So
I think,
I think on the legal, I think we will be able to reduce that substantially, but we're not there yet. Here's a thought, if you want to, then if you cut it, then you're gonna rely on the contingent fund to pay that any over on legal. Because the contingency, again, I think some of it's gonna be used for accounting.
Sure.
And again, Ed, is we can look at it a little bit now, a little bit more between now and the public
Oh,
hearing.
sure.
I have no problem
Yeah.
if we decide after the public
Hey.
hearing that you wanna cut something and we agree on it. I don't think the public is gonna burn us out of the building for cutting the budget. If we add 50, I think they might be unhappy with us.
Maybe.
And just so everybody knows, again, we are gonna exceed the tax cap, so I'm gonna have to pursue that online too and fill out the forms for that.
Can I ask you a question about that?
After we're done.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
you good, Ed?
Not really,
Or
but
as good as you can
we
be?
gotta get it to the public eventually here, so.
You can keep looking at it, and if you find something, again.
No,
again,
I
between
mean,
now-
You're not
between
gonna be
now-
adding, that's for sure. You're only gonna be
No.
cutting,
No
so,
adding.
so you can keep looking.
I don't know how to add. Yeah, I guess we might as well.
Let's move it, and yeah, if we could, and that way we can meet, and then we can have any further discussions on this that you want to have, and I will take any recommendations you do, and then I think once we have the public hearing, there may be things that come out of the public hearing, or you
Right.
can bring up in the public hearing for that matter.
Well, we still can change, so.
We can still change, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we started this in June and we'd have all these answers, by the time we got to this point.
I don't know if we would have though. We didn't know the answers then. We hardly know a lot of
But
it now.
I think you'll find next year will be better because
Oh,
we'll have
yeah.
better financial
Oh, yeah.
history to look at. We'll
Yeah.
know better where things are being charged and we'll have a better idea of what we actually are spending.
We'll go a long way for doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Properly.
Right. And I think
Well, that's a
the
big
key.
element right there.
But we can start watching that every month and actually we can see the stuff now. We haven't seen it before. So,
So I'm open it to the board. Are you set to make a motion on this so that I can make this the preliminary budget tomorrow and get posted? Given the changes, the two changes that we've identified, written down, I'll incorporate those.
I will make that motion as a tentative budget.
but don't you own the tentative budget?
Yeah.
Right.
We don't have anything to do with
We
it.
don't have to vote on it, I don't think, do
You
we?
have to just turn it over.
We just got,
Turn it over?
Yeah,
yeah, I
no
think that's
vote,
right,
because
yeah.
we technically don't have any,
Yeah, we don't
we don't
even
have
have
any
it.
real,
Except that any of the changes tonight to make it the preliminary needed to be passed by the.
correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, so
Yeah.
if you're comfortable with the changes,
I'm-
which we all
it's all
voted
me.
on,
Yeah, it's on you.
it's yours to make,
Supervisor is all powerful on.
yes, on this,
Yeah.
on this one thing,
And
yes.
he's gonna
The
take.
CEO tonight.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's gonna take all the heat when
Yeah.
it's screwed up, right?
No,
No,
I'll
it
take
just,
it. I ain't worried about that.
it just officially
Bring it
gives
on.
it to
All
Darlene,
right,
that's
we're gonna
all.
give it to you tomorrow morning. Do I have a motion to close the meeting then, so that we can?
I'll move.
Second,
And roll call vote.
yes,
Luna?
yes.
Delaney,
Yes.
Massidi,
Yes.
and Tom and Mike.
Yes.
Now, once you give it to her in the morning, you gonna make a hard copy for everybody?
Oh, sure, what I'm gonna do is clean it up.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is take all, we will save this as it is with all the notes. But the file that we'll put online won't have all our notes, all this color, I'll be making a PDF out of it. And then it will go online as that, so it's gonna take me a while in the morning to get
Oh,
it
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And then, make the changes, keep this document as it is with the work we've done on it and the notes we've got it, so we can always fall back and see where we were. Each iteration I've saved is a different date, so we can see a history of how we've made these changes as we've gone along. And then it'll be cleaned up tomorrow to go online. I also, if you saw in there, I'm going to write up an explanation, because I think a lot of people are going to see what the tax rate has gone to. And I think that Darlene needs to be prepared, we as a board need to be prepared for asking why. And there's a very logical explanation about how we ended up here. So,
Somebody had a question?
yeah, I'm going to take,
Oh,
Okay.
it's, you can end, we've ended the meeting, so go ahead,
On
please.
that tax cap, is it 2% or 2% more the rate of inflation, which is higher? I also thought they left that rate of inflation note in that one.
They do, but it's